Hello. Today I'm gonna talk about, uh, let's say, Rick and Morty the anime. The 10th episodes just dropped for me, and I Watched it. So, let's say the show is unimpressive. It's, to put it lightly, unimpressive. The story makes sense. The story makes sense, but it's like there is too much unimportant things happening that it's like it's cohesive in some sense, but you know it lacks the mindfuckery of a single episode of Rick and Morty. It's structured to have continuity, and the continuity is like it exists, but frankly, the story which is told is like more focused on like this sadness which should invoke Rick and Morty, and there is like this uh, bittersweet ending. Let's say that Ellen is dead, will remain dead, and the show killed her, but the this bittersweet ending is like people won't be impressed by it. It's not if you want to make a good story from A to B or A to Z in the Rick and Morty mini series, which is an anime, you should probably take notes from Arcane, because in Arcane everything builds up to the in the right way. But in Rick and Morty, the anime, not so much, not so much. The story is pretty simple, in my opinion. Too simple to get invested and looking for something more. So the guy who written the script and directed this series is like Takashi Hano, I believe. And maybe when he was writing this, he was okay. That's some good stuff. But everything in execution seems to be like a filler episode in like typical Rick and Morty a filler episode. Like it doesn't tap to like the lore of the known universe in which Rick and Morty exist. The Rick character is changed, so he is more like melancholic, but also a little more cheerful old grandpa, which shorts previous to this series were showing us. And Morty is like he doesn't say that much, which will give him much of the presence in the show. He is just a crybaby. Let's put it that way. He is just a massive crybaby, and doesn't like add anything new which we wouldn't be aware of from his character. But yeah, the story is cohesive, but it's not good enough. That's the problem. It doesn't grip you by the balls and squeeze it. So yeah, that's a huge issue, because the story is relatively good. It's relatively good from perspective of those 10 episodes, but it doesn't get you gripped on the story itself. It's like normal filler episode. All 10 episodes could be meshed into one episode, and maybe it would be best if those weren't a series but a single movie anime. And the violence is toned down much more than in cartoon series, because in cartoon series the eyes are popping out, the the torso are slashed, the fluids will come out from wounds and so on and so forth. But in this anime, in this what we got, nothing, practically zero violence, zero animated violence. Guy gets shot with a laser beam, he dies, but there is no internal or external wound drawn on him. He doesn't splashed into like colorful puddle of blood or anything like this. So it's like the Rick and Morty, the anime made for Japanese children, if that makes sense. With no violence, the story which is okay on its own, but nothing special and nothing for old time fan to be gripped by the balls. And yeah, it's all in all, it's just like a filler episode which will be present in one segment of one episode of Rick and Morty the cartoon. So yeah, I just wanted to like, you know, give this series a whole review, because it doesn't hit the same spot as a single good episode of Rick and Morty. It's not a gripping story. It's not that much fun or dumb. It's like the director who wrote this script haven't had much idea about how to incorporate jokes, so the English viewer or like a foreigner like me would appreciate. So all in all, it's just like it's an okay show. It's even more okay show if you show it to kids, and that's that. Nothing that much special about it. Nothing that's special. It's like it's not really a cash grab for me, because it's like, it's like unimpressive. It's just unimpressive. The story is okay, but it doesn't grip you. It really don't. So yeah, that's my thoughts and ramblings about this show. And the stuff the Rick says in this final episode is like the mind of Morty is in the other dimension, dude. He is in simulation, not other dimension. It was established that if the fake reality, which is simulation, has no contradictions, then you will basically would be as living in other parallel world or reality. But that, even that, in this show doesn't make a whole sense, a lot of sense. So yeah, it's like the writer was trying to go up and beyond to justify certain things happening in the show, but the way they explain it is like poorly done. Like there was no thinking about like uh, science in it at all. It's like just a love letter, poorly made love letter to Rick and Morty show by giving an additional. Oh god. So Ellen is like there is not too big characteristic to Ellen because she's in love with Morty. We know this. She is so much in love, in fact, that she is willing to sacrifice. Impressive, and her character is not really interesting that much. She is just a girlfriend, and she is willing to sacrifice herself in the end. So yeah, she is like one dimensional almost. But there is some additional characteristic to her because he is the only person who has positive view of the world in the Rick and Morty universe, that we choose to make a certain choices and we are free to choose. But that begs the questions: are our thoughts and our actions are not ingrained in us, so we behave and choose in certain way? Yeah, that's like the show never gets into this philosophy, and it's a shame because it would be a fun brainer. And that's all I have to say to this. So see ya.